Hey there, Facebook. It is Vanessa here again, your speaker, trainer, and coach from Live, Love, Give. And today I have a message coming to you, which is really all about the fact that when we hyper focus on what the outside world sort of thinks that we should be doing, we end up really missing what our inner wisdom is kind of calling out to us exactly about what we would be most inspired to do. And so really what I'm going to be talking with you guys today about is kind of the difference between motivation and inspiration, and how to get more attuned to your intuition and what really matters most to you, so that you can actually start living your life authentically, courageously, and fulfillingly, instead of kind of being subordinate to other people's ideas and perception as to how you should be living your life. And so, the reason why I really want to talk into this one for you guys is because ultimately my greatest liberation in my life came from the moment that I made the realization that I was doing everything that I was doing in my life for all of the wrong reasons. Be it, really trying to live to the expectations of the people that I wanted the love and the approval of, as opposed to getting attuned to and giving myself permission to identify what is it that I really want to do. Not what everybody thinks I should be doing, or, what will get my approval from other different people, or what society thinks is normal or right for me to do, or what will pay the most money, or whatever, instead of having that mentality, ultimately getting out of that and being liberated from that. Even though I had no idea what the real right path was, I just came to that point of the greatest liberation and certainty I've ever had in my life, when I realized and discovered why I was doing what I was doing, and how what I was doing was completely not right for me at all. So my personal example was becoming a lawyer. I had a year and a half left of a law degree. I'd finished a business degree. I really had no idea what I wanted to do, because I'd never, ever, ever given myself permission to just go, you know what if you could do anything that you want to do, what would that be? I never did that for myself, and a lot of people don't. And instead, I picked up on different conversations and different people that I was surrounded by as to who I should be and what I should do. And that ultimately always leads us down a really unfulfilling path. And when I made the discovery that I did about why I was doing what I was doing and why I needed to get the hell out of it, at that time, I really ultimately discovered that, the number one regret of the dying is that I wish I had have had the courage to live a life true to myself rather than one I felt was expected of me. And that was a huge solidifying realization for me, that I was definitely doing the right thing by quitting what I knew to be the wrong path, and discovering what I felt would be the right path. And I really wanted to bring this message to you guys in terms of thinking about, I want to get a bit honest with you guys, and I want you to really think about those goals and things that you're looking to achieve in your life. Which are the ones that are bringing you the most maximum frustration in your life, where you keep going to get this goal, or you keep trying to move in that direction, but then you never get there, and you feel constantly out of integrity with yourself. You're losing self-belief. You don't believe in yourself. You don't believe that you can achieve what you're looking to achieve, because you've been saying it for so long and you can never quite get there. And the honesty that I really want to deliver for you is, I want to ask you, is that your goal, or is it somebody else's? And the reason why I ask you that is because that was what was happening for me. Every day was like the most painful experience in the world, going and studying a degree that was totally out of alignment with who I was. So in the beginning, it was fun, it was new, it was, it took effort. You had to be accepted into law, so I felt like I'd been accomplishing and progressing something when I didn't have any idea how to progress authentically. And then as time was getting on though, I was starting to realize where that was leading. And I couldn't just focus on, I love learning. I had to really think about, is this for me? And every day that was going by, I was getting sicker and sicker physically, to the point where I could barely get off the couch. I was trying to hold it all together because I didn't really know, I wasn't able to really bring that up to the surface at that point, that I knew I was on the wrong path. I hadn't owned that. I was dulling all that down. I was just living this life of just maintaining it, keeping it all together. But ultimately, when I made the realization and came to terms with what was really going on internally, that's when I had the courage to make the move and make the change. And I was absolutely hit with all of my fears. But what I discovered was, the reason why it felt so painful all the time was because I was trying to live to some other expectation that I'd created in my mind, I thought was expected of me from my family and the people closest to me. And I thought that's what I had to do. So I was trying to motivate myself and force myself into doing something that was totally not who I am, because I didn't know who I was or what it was that I could be moving in the direction of. You know, for the work that I do right now, there is no, you're not taught it at school. There's no subject for it at school. There's no university degree for specifically what I want to do with my life. And so it's been a big journey of self-discovery and, you know, focusing on learning from different people out there who have absolutely, you know, been the leaders in this industry and what they do. And so I didn't know what the options were. You know, I thought the options were you become a doctor or an engineer or a lawyer or a teacher or whatever you get your uni degree for. And I didn't know that there was another pathway. And so I stayed stuck on this wrong pathway that was, you know, to do with the expectations of others, other people's goals, other people's expectations, not my own. And that's really the key difference between motivation and inspiration. So motivation, you're reliant on external sources from people or circumstances that you believe are going to create either immense pleasure or immense pain for you, and it means that you're not really being authentic. You're focused on the external, you know, and so you might make some traction, but then you fall off the wagon and you feel self-defeated and you can't, you know, you're procrastinating and you're not moving forward, and then you finally get into action again because you got some external motivation from external sources or money or whatever it is, and it's short-lived and it's this stop-start, totally unfulfilling existence. But when we get to a place of inspiration, you know, where, you know, spontaneously inspired from within to get into action, nobody else has to motivate us, remind us, any of that sort of stuff to get into this specific action or to get towards this goal. Now that is where your life starts to get fulfilling. And that's where you start to generate immense courage, self-belief, confidence, fulfillment, gratitude, abundance. All this great stuff, you know, comes when we can listen into our inner wisdom or our inspiration, as opposed to relying on motivation and hyper-focusing on what the outside world really thinks we should be doing, as opposed to listening in, tuning in, what do I want to do? What journey do I need to go on to discover what that is? And tapping into that, I think that so many of us, and myself included, when I was battling finding this out for myself, I was 25, and my excuse for like not wanting to focus on that was, I'm too old, I need to finish what I started. I can figure out something that'll be fulfilling and whatever later on in life once I've made myself a successful lawyer, right? And I shudder to think what life would be like had I stayed in that trapped limiting belief of I'm too old. And without going in the depths of my story, I was at a Tony Robbins event, and a 65-year-old woman who was a successful lawyer stood up, who was going through the same process as I was to uncover why we were doing what we were doing. And she was a successful lawyer who had been divorced 3 times. Her children didn't talk to her, and she was totally unfulfilled. And she made the realization that she'd become a successful lawyer in order to gain the love and approval from her father. And she'd been successful but lived a totally unfulfilling life. And in that moment in time when she made the same realization that I made at that time at 25, she was saying how grateful she was about how young she was, that she'd finally made that discovery and she could start living a life true to herself rather than one she felt was expected of her, and she had her entire life left to live. And she was 40 years my senior. So in that moment, my limiting belief completely shattered, and that is when I was able to see, wow, I'm so young to make this discovery. And absolutely, I've got, she's got so much gratitude at 65 with her whole life left to live. I'm 25, and now I should be, immensely grateful and moving in that direction. And so that's where everything shifted for me and changed. And it's really the purpose of today's message, is to get you thinking about, what are those goals in your life that are completely frustrating you, that you've been carrying around for a long time? And I challenge you to ask yourself, whose goals are they really? Are they really yours? If you're finding yourself limiting yourself, holding back, starting, stopping, procrastinating, distracting, and somebody has to motivate you, or something externally has to motivate you, you're not living in your highest values. You're not living in alignment with goals that are in alignment with what matters most to you as an individual. They're not authentic goals. And so what you really need to do is have that self-awareness to begin with. Whose goals are they? Whose expectations are you attempting to live into? And ultimately going on the journey to discover what's true to me, what is most fulfilling to me, what's most inspiring to me, and stop and drop all of those different expectations and limitations that we have going on all around us, and we are the biggest source of our own pain when we follow suit with our external world at the expense of our inner wisdom. So really hoping that me sharing this with you guys today has got you thinking, got you hopefully breaking through from any of those goals and different things that you've been working towards that are completely frustrating to you. And there's a difference between having challenge that we need to break through and continue to go for it with, and frustration and feelings of just like inauthenticity and not knowing who we are or what we really want. There's a massive difference between those two sets of challenges. When we tap into what really inspires us most, we are the most inspired also to break through whatever challenges we're faced with. We become resilient to the challenges, and we break through and we bust through because we know each and every one gets us to a new exciting level of our potential. Whereas when we're living to somebody else's expectations, it's so tough. The smallest little challenge comes into play and it throws us off, and we want to go distract or procrastinate or whatever it is, and we completely self-defeat. So definitely wanting to check in with you guys. I hope it's got you thinking. I hope it's got you thinking about, what are those goals, and are they really in alignment with your highest values, or are they trying to live up to somebody else's expectations or shoulds or idealisms from society or whatever? And I challenge you to believe that whatever inspires you internally is absolutely your pathway to reaching your limitless potential. And the longer you go on trying to follow suit with somebody else's goals or expectations for you, the longer you're going to feel defeated and living an unfulfilled life. And that, it deep down inside, that path is not right for you. Have the courage to get off it, even if you don't have the answers of where to go to. I certainly didn't, but I definitely committed to that journey. And the moment I quit, what I knew was wrong for me was the moment I had absolute confidence and courage to be able to handle the uncertainty and the unknown of discovering what the right path would be for me. So definitely want to check in with you guys. And this is a huge part of the 8-week empowerment program. I'm going to be working personally with an amazing group of people who I've just unleashed the first pre-program training to, and got you guys all connected, and you guys absolutely rock my world. I'm so grateful that you're all connecting and building your relationships with one another already before we even launch the first week of the program. That's super exciting to me. And any of you guys who have been kind of on the fence with this, I want you to jump over the fence right now if you want me to work with you personally about breaking through to your most authentic, inspired, and fulfilling life. That is what this is all about, and I'm super excited about you guys allowing me to live my mission and my purpose, because I absolutely do what I love and love what I do, and I love doing it with you guys. So definitely, if that is something interesting to you, shoot me a message. I can clarify anything for you. I'd love to connect, and I'd love to make sure that you come into that community with us and get all the support on your journey that you could ever want. And the love and the challenge, all of it. So I've got Ram and Stephen and Lucy's here. Awesome. And Alexandria and Ahmed and Hassani and Kim and Marco's here. Awesome. I spent my morning with you, you awesome human being. And Judy's here, and Justin and Sam's here. I love it. And Jason and Samuel and Colton and Susan. And Sam, I'm loving that you're loving this topic. You're going to have to get really excited because we're going to be diving pretty deeply into this in the first week of the program, of the 8-week program. So get excited. I love that you're into it. And Sergio and Dondi, much love to you, my friend. And George and Michael and Sean and Adanaran. Thanks for sharing your thoughts, Vanessa. You are so welcome. And Jared's here, and Kylie, and Lizzie, and Sam. I feel you're now truly in alignment with your desire, values, purpose, and passion. And this is valuable to know how I can shift into purpose. Absolutely, Sam. That's why I do the work that I do. That was my, you might have heard Dr. John D. Martini say that perceived voids create values. Well, my perceived voids as I was growing up was never knowing what I wanted to do, never feeling like my life would matter, not knowing how I could make a difference or get people to trust me, because I was always the youngest, the only girl in the family. I was always really sheltered and looked after and protected, and yet had its benefits, obviously. But definitely it also came at the expense of me feeling like, can I make a difference to others instead of them all, adding value to me? I want to add value to them. And I want to, be able to give them a moment of insight and aha and breakthrough in their life. And also, not knowing who I was or what I wanted to do, it created this immense set of values that is ultimately what my purpose is in life, is ultimately doing this stuff, mastering this stuff, mastering how to know who you are authentically, how to live courageously and fully step into alignment with that and feel as though you can meaningfully contribute whatever your unique genius and gifts are to the world. And that, is so exciting and juicy to me. And Sam, I am so excited for these next few weeks with you. I know you're part of the empowerment program, and I can't wait to get to witness your growth into your purpose and getting this kind of certainty and clarity and fulfillment that comes from being on path and living authentically. So super excited, Sam. You're a superstar. And Amy's here, and Gabrielle, and Kelly, and DB, and Daryl. When you have exhausted all possibilities, remember this, you haven't. Thomas Edison, one of my absolute favorite quotes. Thanks so much for sharing that, Daryl. And Shane's here, and hello to you, DB, and Jody, and Jamie, hello, and Jonty, and Moises. Thank you for your kind compliment there, Moises. And Shane, and same to you, Shane. Thank you so much. And Shane, always wise words. Thank you. You're so awesome. You're awesome, Shane. Thank you so much. I'm grateful that this is resonating. And Sam, counting days to the program. Can't wait. I know. It's like excitement and anticipation, like overload. I'm so not used to like hanging out to certain dates. I'm usually like, boom, let's do it right now. So it's like kind of training how exciting it is. I love that, Sam. And hello to you, William. And Ram, when we listen to our inner voice, we get inspired. Only then does the external world auto-align with what's really authentic to us to create a miraculous synergy of inspiration and motivation. I love that, Ram. Absolutely. And that's really why I wanted to just reiterate this message to you guys today, to make sure that you are absolutely turning down the volume of the external world, all those judgments, opinions, criticisms, whatever, all the expectations, and absolutely turning up the volume on your internal wisdom, on your intuition. Trust yourself. Start listening to yourself. Ask yourself quality questions. You'll get quality answers, and therefore a quality life, like Tony Robbins would say. You've got to do this stuff, and you've got to trust yourself. And the moment you start asking yourself questions, listening to the answers and following suit with your actions is the moment you generate an immense self-trust and self-belief that will ultimately be your vehicle for reaching your limitless potential. And that's the work that I hope to help you with. So definitely, guys, I've also put a link up above for any of you who, for whatever reason, aren't in the Limitless Potential Inner Circle Facebook community. I want you guys there. 4,500 beautiful human beings from over 30 countries, all connecting every single day, helping to support, encourage, and challenge each other to new levels of their potential. It's a beautiful community, and we want you to be a part of it. So make sure that you're joining us there. And any of you guys who is absolutely ready to take things to the next level, and you want to tap into your most authentic, inspired, and fulfilling life, you want to make sure that you are joining me in the 8-week empowerment program. Definitely, I'll put a link above. It's been over all my stuff for the last couple of weeks, so you'd have to be dead to miss it. I don't want to push it too much, but for those of you guys who are absolutely committed, this is the program for you, and this is the last week that you can join. We start on Monday, so less than a week to go. Make sure that you get your spot, and everybody who's already in the program has already got the access to their first pre-programmed bonus training. I'm super excited about this, and I really hope that you guys who are kind of like, not sure about it, ask me some questions, reach out to me, shoot me a message. Happy to jump on a call with you. I want the right people in this program right now, and so I'd be honored to take you on that journey if you are an action taker and absolutely committed. So guys, that is it from me today. As always, I'm sending you all of my love, light, blessings, gratitude, energy, enthusiasm, everything extraordinary coming to you to wherever you are in the world today. I hope it's absolutely beautiful, amazing, and extraordinary. And I really hope you're going to join the Limitless Potential Inner Circle Facebook community. And definitely, if you want to go deep, better make it now. Better come on over and join us in the 8-week empowerment program. Boom, it's going off. Sending you guys all of my love. Can't wait to see you tomorrow.